the woman reached into her purse and she pulled out hand sanitizer, squirt, 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 squirted on her hands, and she squirted it on the boyfriend or the husband's hands, and right, they're both squirting squirting the hand sanitizer. And then they pull down their mask, and then they pick up their food and they start eating it. Welcome to Andrea Beeman Speaks Out. This is where you get access to uncensored, holistic, and alternative healing wisdom to support your body, mind, and spirit, and help you live a happier and more vibrant life while you're living on planet Earth in a perfectly designed human body. And you get it all without any bullcrap or nonsense. Let's dive into today's episode. So an interesting thing happened 2 weeks ago. I had to take my nephew to get his SAT test. And there's a 3 or 4 hour window that I had to wait. So instead of coming back home and then going back over there, I just figured, hey, there's no more mandates. Let me roll up in a local coffee shop, just sit down and chill out for a while and do some work. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm the first person in the shop, and I go in and I order my cup of tea, and I sat down and I started to do some work. As I'm working on an article, the coffee shop starts to fill up. And it's a small coffee shop, maybe about 20 or 25 seats, and we're all about 18 inches away from each other. And lo and behold, a couple comes and sits next to me. And they're masked. They sit down at the table with their food that they just ordered that was nice wrapped. And they both took napkins, and with the napkin, they opened the food packages. And they didn't touch the package themselves without the napkin. And then the woman reached into her purse and she pulled out hand sanitizer, squirt, 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 squirted on her hands, and she squirted it on the boyfriend or the husband's hands, and right, they're both squirting the hand sanitizer. And then they pull down their mask, and then they pick up their food and they start eating it. And I'm shocked. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe these people just did that. It didn't make any sense. And so then I'm like, what is it, because I haven't been in one of these types of establishments in a year and a half that I don't know what's going on with human behaviors? I pushed my laptop aside and I just started to people watch. And many of them had very similar odd behaviors. As the next wave comes, because another wave is coming, it's already on the way. It started in Hong Kong. It's going to roll across the whole world momentarily. These people that have been conditioned and programmed to do all of these weird behaviors aren't going to be prepared. They're literally destroying any chance for their body to build natural immunity. Even some of the governments around the world and the health people around the world are very clear that we need to be exposed to this virus if we're ever going to be able to move beyond it. In a statement citing infectious disease authorities, the Ministry of Health in Iceland said, widespread societal resistance to COVID-19 is the main route out of the epidemic. To achieve this, as many people as possible need to be infected with the virus, as the vaccines are not enough, even though they provide good protection against serious illness. That was an article from the New England Journal of Medicine. And even they are aware and finally coming to their senses that people need to be exposed to this virus. Israeli researchers discovered that immunity acquired through infection from COVID-19 is superior to immunity from the vaccine. The study also found that fully vaccinated but uninfected people were significantly more likely to have a breakthrough COVID infection than people who had previously been infected and recovered from the disease. This study demonstrated that natural immunity confers longer lasting and stronger protection against infection, symptomatic disease, and hospitalization. All of the studies that are coming out now show that people that have had some form of natural immunity or have been exposed to the virus naturally have a stronger immune system, right? They're better able to handle this virus or the next virus or the next virus or the other variant or this variant or that variant, you name it. These people that are so afraid that they can't sit down, they can't touch anything, they're putting the hand sanitizer on, they're literally stopping their own immune system from functioning. One aspect of hand sanitizers that is usually overlooked is that they can affect bodies' microbiomes in a few ways. And some of these ways could be bad, says Jonathan Eisen, a microbiologist at the University of California at Davis. While they are killing potentially dangerous microbes, they are also altering the communities of beneficial bacteria on the skin. While we can't see any of them, millions of bacteria reside on our hands, skin, and inside our guts. Recently, scientists have begun to understand that every person has a proper balance of bacterial colonies that, among other things, keeps the body in check. When we use hand sanitizers, we are attempting to kill off almost every microbe that resides on our hand, the good and the bad. In addition to killing off potentially beneficial bacteria, Eisen says hand sanitizers could also contribute to antibiotic resistance. Even though they generally do not contain standard antibiotics, when microbes become resistant to some of the sanitizers, this can make it easier for them to be resistant to more important antibiotics, Eisen says. You might just want to make sure you aren't eating any harmful bacteria with your burrito, but doing this repeatedly and as a general population could come back to haunt us later. Antibiotic resistance is already a serious threat, and it's getting worse. So this is very, very important. What these people and people like them are doing is very dangerous behavior, because as the next wave comes, and the next wave, and the next wave, and the next wave of viruses and everything else that's going to come at you, because you're a human being living on planet Earth, and besides the viruses that are naturally being made, they're also unnaturally being made. Yeah, I said it. The people that are keeping everything out from their microbiome and destroying their own microbiome are going to fare far worse than the people that are exposing themselves and building their natural immunity. So what we have to do is hold the space of compassion as much as possible. They have been conditioned and programmed by fear to do things that are nonsensical. And as we move forward in this very dangerous, yes, I say dangerous time in human history, we're going to need all the common sense that we have pooled together with our compassion and our ability to feel for our fellow human beings, because what's coming now and in the future could be catastrophe for the human race. I don't normally get so serious on stuff that's happening in the world because, mostly I'm very, very lighthearted and very joy-filled, because I know that that supports my body and it supports my mind and it supports my spirit on this journey in this human life. But I'm feeling a lot of sadness for my fellow human beings that I know intuitively aren't going to fare well as the coming waves crash over them. For those of you that know people that are doing this on themselves on a daily basis, to themselves or to their children, send them love. Send them as much love as you can muster in your heart, in your spirit. Send them love, send them good vibrations, because they're going to need it as the next waves crash through onto the human population. That is my plea to you today, moving forward in this very dangerous time in human history. Send everyone love as much as you can. Okay. Bye, everybody. Big thanks and a whole lot of love for tuning in today. All we have in life is time, and I am honored that you spent your time with me. If you are inspired and want to learn more, head on over to www.andreabeeman.com and sign up to receive updates about reclaiming your health and your happiness in the most delicious and easy ways.